What's up, guys? Krusty Cole back here with another Lions video. This week got the Houston Texans coming to Detroit for a Thanksgiving turkey showdown. Going back into last week, what a disappointing game. I expected us to win against the Carolina Panthers, especially with the injuries they had. Hey, we had a lot of injuries too, but you know, with Christian McCaffrey being out, being the main factor there, and then Teddy Bridgewater being out as well, I thought that'd definitely be a game we definitely could have pulled out. Thought it'd be close, but it wasn't even close at all. I mean, the Panthers just dominated us, especially from a defensive standpoint. Our offense really just couldn't get anything going. They missed a field goal, had a touchdown called back, a lot of drop passes. The O-line got pretty much manhandled. I really feel like the Panthers D-line definitely controlled that game. And defensively, the Lions had an okay game. I wouldn't say they were too bad in that game for what it was. The offense just couldn't get anything going, so things just got out of hand. They gave up 7 points in the first half, gave up the additional points that got to 20 in the second half. But from start to finish, I don't think defense played too terrible. I mean, they could have did better. There are some things they could have did better, but they were definitely not the weak point of that game. That definitely falls solely on the offense, not being able to generate enough first downs and get points on the board. And when you don't get those things going like that, I mean, that ultimately leads to you not winning football games. So this week we got so before I go on to that game, I just want to say hats up to the Panthers. Great game. You guys really came in and dominated us. You kissed our wives goodnight and patted our kids on the head and tucked them in and made sure they had the warm blankets on them during these cold times. So going this next game, got the Houston Texans. Let's get into this game. How I see this game going, I think a big part, we still have a lot of injuries for the Lions. Texans, you know, they got a big win this week. They look pretty good, especially offensively against those Patriots. You know, being able to go in there and beat the Patriots even without Brady being there, that's still a pretty good feat. They still got Bill Belichick over there. I know they're struggling a little bit. I think Patriots are missing a lot of. They definitely need to get some offensive weapons going into next year, especially from the receiver standpoint, even tight end. But I like what I saw out of the Texans defensively. They've been pretty. They've been there. I think they're like an above average defense to me. I think their pass rush. I do like their pass rush still. You still got Watt and some of those guys. They can still get after the quarterback. Their run stop is not too bad, but really like what they're doing with the pass rush. And offensively, like I said, they still got Deshaun Watson. You may not have Big Boy Hops over there anymore. You know, Hopkins over there in Arizona now making plays for Kyler Murray and that Arizona offense. But when you still have Deshaun Watson, there's still going to be plays to be made, and I still think their receivers can still make some plays. They just need to be more consistent at doing it. And last week we saw they made some good plays and were able to put up some good points in that victory for the Texans. This week, I think the keys to victory for the Lions is definitely going to be able to get to Deshaun Watson. You got to be able to stop him, and I think we're definitely going to probably struggle against the run. I think that's one of our bigger weaknesses in general is just like stopping the run. I mean, we haven't been as terrible as past years. I think like you just let people get the run on us, it just sets up a lot for the play action. So I think, like I said, with last week, especially when you have Watson this week, you definitely want to try and blitz, hit the running back and get home at the quarterback at the same time. And I think that's going to be a good formula here. And try and keep him in the pocket. We don't want to get Watson out of the pocket because we know he can be dangerous. He's like one of Mahomes, Rodgers, those guys get out of the pocket, they can make some magic happen. And a 10-yard play can turn into a 50-yard play just like that. So definitely keep him in the pocket would be a big thing to do. And from an offensive standpoint, I'm not sure if Swift will be back. We definitely missed him. AP and Kerryon Johnson, our run game, didn't do much of anything last week. It's actually quite bad, and our pass game wasn't much. There's really not much to say about the offense in general other than it was just very anemic from standpoint. I think it all starts with the offensive line. We've definitely got to be better there. I felt like guys took a couple plays off here and there, and it just ultimately hurt us. So this week, I think we definitely want to try and run the football. We're at home. I mean, there's not going to be much of a crowd, but running the football is definitely a formula for the Lions. I think that they need to do going forward, especially when you have three running backs of the talents of Adrian Peterson, even though he's on the back end of his career, Kerryon Johnson, and you got the young gun Swift coming in too. So they've got three solid running backs to be able to run the ball and maybe do some short passes in that game because I think there's some matchups to be had there. I don't believe Golladay will be back, so we'll be without him again. I'm not sure what the status is on Amendola with those two guys out. I think we're going to see some rough sledding with this offense again. I think we might have a chance to have Swift back. I'm not too sure on that one. And I know we have some other injuries, and I know the Texans have some injuries as well. So, you know, injuries are part of the game. You can't make excuses. You still got to go out there and play with the 11-man on defense and 11-man on offense that you have, and you got to go and try and make plays and ultimately win the game. As far as how I see this game going, considering everything I've seen from the past week, and including in the injuries and whatnot, I got to go with the Texans here. I'd love to see my Lions win on Thanksgiving, but I just don't see it happening. Texans look much stronger on offense from a consistent standpoint, even though they've had their down weeks too. But I think the injuries right now on offense for the Lions, it's just going to ail on them, and I just don't see the offense, clicking in the ways that it should be. I mean, if we were to at least get Swift back, that might help a little bit. I don't think the game will be a blowout or any stretch of the imagination. Maybe a 10-point game. Could be as close as anywhere from a 13 to 7-point game. I think it's going to be right within that range. I think it still will be a decently close game, but I just think ultimately the Texans are going to be able to pull this one out. I think they've got a lot more going for them. From their standpoint of their pass rush, and we'll get some guys back too with our pass rush, because we have some guys missing on our D-line, but a lot of guys are missing right now, especially key players on offense, and we have some guys on defense, as do they, but with everything that's going to, what both teams are going to be putting on the field this weekend, I just look at not this weekend, but this Thursday, sorry. So Thanksgiving's on Thursday, so what both teams are going to be put on the field, I kind of like what I see more out of the Texans, especially from an offensive standpoint. In the Texans going against our defense, I just think there's going to be a lot that they can do against us, and offensively, there's just too many question marks with the Lions right now, especially after we saw what they were just unable to do this last week. All the struggles they had with key players being out in key positions, being at our receivers, especially our receiver standpoint, that we just did terrible there, and our O-line really wasn't able to open up much holes for the run game. So I think it's going to be one of those games. The Lions will hang in there for a little bit, but I ultimately see the Texans pulling this one out. Lions fans, let me know your thoughts. Texans fans, what do you guys think? What do you foresee your team going forward? I mean, neither of these teams are definitely not playoff bound, so it's kind of one of those, see what you have now, so what you're going to do going forward as far as coaching, players, and all that good stuff. Special teams, we'll see how the game goes, and hopefully it's a fun one to at least watch. Then we got the following that, we got the Cowboys, Washington, and then obviously the Steelers and Ravens to close it out on Thursday. So we'll see how those games go, and hopefully we have some entertaining football on Thanksgiving, and hopefully the Lions, make the game interesting so my turkey doesn't taste bad like last year. So go Lions, and let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll catch you guys next time.